Hi everyone, before we go into the podcast, I just wanted to say thank you so much for listening to this podcast. I'm super grateful for your continued loyalty and support. If you could do me a quick favour, if you could give me a review on Apple Podcasts, it really helps the algorithm and it will help this podcast go up the lists. If there are any subjects or topics that you want me to cover, then please do reach out to me on DM on LinkedIn and I will do my best to find the best guest for that subject or topic. This is the Absolute Business Mindset Podcast. Today we're going to talk about high performance. So I've been really enjoying a podcast called High Performance with Jack Humphrey, who is a UK presenter. And I really, one of the questions they asked on the podcast, which whoever's listened to this will know, is that what does high performance mean to them? So I'm going to give you my definition and then the ways that I'm able to reach that high performance. Now, everyone struggles at times. You have dips of attention, of dedication, of working hard, but the ambition to reach high performance is incredibly important, which I think in business. So my definition of what high performance means to me is reaching your potential and maintaining it for a long period of time. And so that for me is being able to, and reaching your potential is something that's very personal, and that's why it's very meaningful for me, is that whoever's listening to this will be able to understand how to reach their potential. And the extra bit on top of it is then being able to do it for consistently a long period of time. So how am I reaching high potential as an entrepreneur, as a business owner? First thing I do is I try to add value wherever I can. Things that my experiences, my knowledge, my expertise, when I go into meetings, one-to-ones, I go into client calls, whatever it is, I try and add value all the time. The second one is solving people's problems. That's the best way of being able to make money, is being able to solve your clients' problems. So I've talked about this a lot, so I won't go over this too much, but solving problems is always going to be able to generate you money. So think about that, how you can solve other people's problems. Third one is building relationships. Relationships are so important in entrepreneurship and business, being a business owner. So you need to be able to build strong relationships for referrals, for JVs, for sometimes just to have good people around you to support you if you're down a little bit. So having and maintaining those relationships is so important. The first one, which is probably should be the first one, is generating revenue. You need to be able to generate revenue to be able to survive. You need to sell. You need to be able to market. You need to be able to convert leads into sales. So revenue generation is so important. You need to be able to have the money to be able to be an entrepreneur. It's not like you've got an amount coming in every month that you can pay for with a salary. That just does not happen. So you need to be able to generate revenue. You need to be able to build systems and processes. So when you start developing a business, you need to think about how you're going to systemize it, how you're going to automate, how you're going to build those processes that mean that you can take a step out of the per hour, hourly rate, and start generating money. And if you build processes and systems, then you can start automating things, which means you can generate money even when you're asleep. The next one is employing people. And this is something which I'm starting to get a little dip in my toe in, to be able to employ people and build up their expertise and build up their support for you, whether that is an admin person or someone who can support you with some of the actions, some of the tasks that you need to be done. So that's something that for me is a TBC, and I'll definitely come back to at a later stage about employing people and getting the most out of those people and making them helpful for my business. And then the last two are sort of long-term goals. They're being financially free and building assets. So you need to be able to build assets to be able to be financially free. So they go hand in hand. So you need to be able to build assets, whether that is property, whether that's investment, whether that's business, whether that's IP. There are 7, I think, from my friend Kevin Whelan, the 7 pillars of assets or building of assets. go back to my podcast on that relatively recently. That is a super, super interesting podcast to be able to see how you build assets. And then the last one, which goes hand in hand, is being financially free. So for me, to be able to be, which I'm not at the moment, be able to be financially free, to not have to worry about money and have those systems and processes in place that generate me money while I'm asleep. And that means, for me, that means that I will be able to be financially free. That'll be earning what I earn as a salary and more, significantly more, hopefully, to be able to enjoy my lifestyle with not worrying about money. So that for me is high performance. That is from a business point of view. High performance comes in lots of different varieties. You often think about it, and on this podcast, he talks a lot to sportsmen because they are dedicated to high performance and delivering high quality of themselves in a physical sense. So do check out the podcast. It's really interesting. I really enjoyed it. He's done quite a few episodes now, so you can catch up and do that. So thank you very much for your time today. Thank you for all the support. Thank you for the downloads, the subscriptions, the listens. I really do appreciate your time, and I really enjoy the support that you give me. So thank you very much for your time, and I'll speak to you soon.